as real estate agents, we get a chance to manage our time. Like every single minute of our time is for the most part under our control. The only time demands I have on you is I'd like for you to be in training as much as possible, even if they're reruns, until you're selling at least a home a month. And the reason why is because the basic fundamentals will all of a sudden just be drilled down into you to where everything becomes starting to become second nature to you, and it's easier to control things. So when you think about setting up your schedule and managing your time, you want to think about what your income goals are. What your income goals are, and what is your sales goals. So I brought up that I wanted to start with that income idea in mind. All right. So for instance, if your first target market was $75,000, and we could go after an average sell price of $250, we only need 14 sales. We only need 14 sales. Let's see if we can zoom in on this a little bit. Whoa, that's not exactly what I was looking for. I want to be able to zoom, but I didn't want to zoom it like that. All right, try this. All right, so that's still a little high. All right. So when we look at this a little bit closer, okay, if you change this, if my target market is for less money, let's just say whoops, that's the wrong number. Let me go back. I messed my formula up. All right, there we go. So if this number right here was 200,000, then you'll notice that you have to do more. All right. Now, I'm not saying that more sales is a bad thing, but if you can cut down the number of sales that you are able to do per year to meet your income goal because you're working in a better price range, that's going to make your life so much easier when it comes to making money. All right. And so, I want you to set your average price point pretty high to go after, at least 200,000. Okay. Because look how many homes you have to actually sell if you get down here to 150. You got to sell 24 homes a year, which is an average of 2 homes per month. Well, I'm not saying that you can't do that, but if this is the case, you're going to end up spending a lot of time in South Venice and some of these other neighborhoods down in Inglewood and Northport. So based on your price point will determine where you're going to work more. All right. So if we target a $200,000 price point, we only have to go after 18. But if I can go after that 250 range, which by the way, 250 is still below the average in Sarasota County. The average in Sarasota County. And all the new construction that we just looked at yesterday was over 300,000. Look what would happen if we jumped in here and our average price point was 350 and we were like a new home specialist. We'd only have to sell 10 homes a year. All right, so based on your income and based on what we're trying to go after, we can see how many sales that we're going to need. And based on the number of sales that we're going to need, and based on where our business is going to come from, working with buyers or working with sellers, will determine how we're going to try to position ourselves in the marketplace and spend our time. All right? So I don't really want us to focus so much down here on our appointments because that's going to be important. If you really focus on your appointments and you hit your appointments and you measure your conversion rate from your appointments, you will get to your goal. So let me just read this off to you so you understand how this works. If I need 4 listings to sell, okay, here's 4 listings to sell, 67% of my listings are going to sell if I list them. I'm going to say 85%. All right? Which means I got to have at least 5 listings. Well, I'm saying that if to get 5 listings, I'm not that good at my listing presentation yet, so I got to go on a minimum of like 3.5 listings to get 1 listing. So 33%. That means I got to go on 15 listing appointments. All right. So 15 presentations. And by the way, does a for sale by owner contact count as one of my 15 potential presentations? Yes. Yes, it does. Does an expired appointment count? Yes. Yes, it does. Does a friend or someone in the neighborhood that's thinking about selling that I need? Yes. Everything counts if it's in this category for listing. So this means I got to do 1.27 listing presentations a month. All right, that's not that many. That's 1 a month. So I need to start setting up my goal, and when I start looking at my schedule, when I come over here and I look at my schedule needs to be filled with opportunities to land me a minimum of 1.25 listings per month. So everything I do needs to be focused on getting that listing appointment. And again, when I'm new and I don't have a following, I have to identify the lowest possible fruits. The lowest possible fruits are for sale by owners and then the expireds. Okay? So I'm going to have to target them. All right? Now, the best kind of listing appointment is a referral, and that's going to come from your COI. So if you don't have a COI built and you're not actually nurturing your COI, you're never, ever going to get that. You're never going to get the business that you need from your COI if you don't take care of it. It's kind of like having a bucket full of, items that you never look at. They're just there, but you're not asking for it to participate. All right, so rolling down here to buyers. All right, so now if I'm with my buyers and I need at least 10 sales from my buyers, I come down here, I need 10 sales, and I'm saying 1 out of 3. So 1 out of 3 buyers that I'm working with, that I'm actually working with, that I'm showing houses to, they're looking at properties, and we're communicating. So only 33% of the people that I'm working with are going to actually move forward and buy a property. The deal's going to go through. So that means I got to be working with 30 agents, 30 customers on a regular basis for the entire year. So my question to you is, do I need to have 30 people right now, or do I need to pick them up throughout the year? I need to pick them up throughout the year. But how cool would it be by the end of the year if you had 30 people in your bucket that potentially could buy or sell, but you were nurturing them because they were sometime out in the future? How would your business look if you had a bucket full of fruit that just wasn't quite ripe yet, and all you do was kept nurturing that until the ripeness got there, till the timing was right and they could go out and buy a house? So if you think about that, those are the potential buyers that we have. All right? So if I don't have 30, I need to think about how I'm going to get 30. So if I don't have 30, I need to think about get 30. I need to reach that goal in a year, I need to add 2.5 people per month. 2.5 people per month. If I do an open house and I met 20 people and one of them I connect with, then that's 1 of my 2. See, I got to actually connect with them. The 19 people I didn't connect with don't count. So when I do an open house, I do it with a purpose. My purpose is, I know my goal is to get 2.5 people per month. 2.5 people per month. So when I hear agents tell me, well, how many open houses should I do? I don't know. How many pillars do you have giving you buyers? How many pillars do you have giving you buyers? What are you doing to get to the 2.5 new potential buyers in your bucket per month? Because every single day, that should be your goal until you meet your goal. Every single day. Do I have a buyer for the future or now? I don't? Okay. I'm going to use open houses to meet potential people that might want to buy a property. How many open houses am I going to do? All right. So if I absolutely had to just get the 2.5 people, if you did an open house 5 days a week, and then you cut it down to 4 days a week and showed property 1 day a week and took 2 days off a week, but when you did your open house, you opened it from 10 o'clock to 5 o'clock. You know why? It didn't matter. It doesn't matter if nobody comes in or if 10 people come in. My shop is available to meet my 2.5 people per month. So if I put in 4 days per week, I got 12 open houses. Out of my 12 open houses, how many people do I need to connect with out of my open houses? You know, I barely have to connect with anybody that comes through my open house to meet my goal. So when you think about the timeline of how long am I going to work my open house, well, I don't know. How long do you want to try to achieve your goal? Now, of course, I know the reason that you're asking me. You're asking me because you don't want to go there and sit there from 10 o'clock to 12 o'clock and not meet anyone, because you might have a better opportunity to spend that time doing something else. But I'm telling you that if you saturate a pillar and you saturate it and you give it a real opportunity, then you can meet your goal with one single pillar or a combination of pillars. But it's about consistency. Some of you have heard me say this story all the time. If I told you I would pay you $75,000 to get your car run over by a train, what would you do? All right, the first thing you do is find a railroad track, and then you go park your car on it. Well, if you don't know the schedule of when the train's going to come, all right, you know, you might do a little research and see when the best time for the train to come. But if you don't know that, how long will you participate? How long will you leave your car on the train till the opportunity comes, till the train comes? Me, I have the thickness and the wherewithal to stay until the train comes. I'm going to be persistent till the train comes. I'm going to be consistent till the train comes. And so real estate's all about building. It's like a snowball. Some of you are from up north. I'm from Florida. I've made one snowball in my life, or one snowman in my life. Okay, so a snowball builds on itself. So in real estate, it's so hard to get those first couple of leads, those first couple of sales under your belt. But you know what? The people that I talk to this month that aren't ready, that they're going to be around here in 8 to 9 months, I'm going to need customers in 8 to 9 months. So if I have nobody here today, in 8 months, I might have 6 to 8 people that I'm working with in 9 months, because I picked up 1 this month, I picked up 2 next month, I picked up 1 next month, and you know what I'm saying? And it just continues to build, and all of a sudden I got this great pipeline. That's one of the reasons that my training is in a pattern to position you to have the knowledge behind you to do the work, so that when you position yourself to meet someone, you can run with them with confidence that you know how to show property, you know how to write a contract, you know how to hold an effective open house. Okay? You know how to present that contract. So when you break things down like this, it really becomes easier to deal with your schedule on what you should be doing on the prospecting activity. So I'm going to open this up for some questions right here. So what kind of questions can you guys give me regarding some of this? You guys are like perfect? You like understand it completely?
I think it's great, Kano.
That's awesome. That was Whitney. That was Whitney, right?
That's all. Yep, that's me.
Yeah, so, you know, again, this is talking directly personally to you, too. I mean, when you think about it, I heard some frustration the other day at lunch, you know, that you need to get going and have some momentum going. So when you start looking at your different opportunities of where you can meet a customer, when you set your goals like this, you know, hey, look, I only have to meet 2.5 people per month. What railroad track am I going to go park my car on? And for how long am I going to do that till I get to my 2.5 people? And that's all I'm saying. So in real estate, it's really simple. You can prospect and put out effort, your own effort, okay, to make something happen. Doing open houses is prospecting. I can pick up the phone book and call people. That's prospecting. I can go to chamber events and meet people and network and ask them for business. That's prospecting. Then I have marketing. Now, marketing costs money. Marketing is when I mail a neighborhood and say, if you're thinking about selling your property, give me a call. I'd love to tell you what your home is worth in today's marketplace. But I have to spend $600 to $700 for 1 month. And then I got to do that consistently for 12 months to a minimum of 100 people to potentially get one. So can you see the cost expense that I got to invest into a piece of marketing? Another marketing strategy might say, okay, I'm going to take out an ad in a magazine. All right, I got an ad in a magazine. That's going to cost me $500 a month if I take out a full-page ad because I want to have a good impact. You know, the worst thing that you can do when you start spending money in marketing is to actually underspend. And what I mean by that is you go, okay, I just need a little ad because that's all I can afford. Well, the little ad has no impact. And not enough people see that little ad. So then it's therefore a waste of money. So you have to have a big enough budget to run an ad that is effective enough to attract the customers to get the return on the investment. All right? So being that said, well, if I ran an ad in a Welcome Home magazine, I would need to generate enough leads from that to convert them, and I would have to have the right skills set to convert. When someone called in on a property, I'd have to have the great skill set to verbally communicate with them, capture them, and convert them into a customer that A, wants to look at that home or any other home on the market. So I have to have a good skill set. Another way of prospecting is Boomtown. You know, that's our in-house prospecting. You spend $200 a month, you get X number of leads. You're hoping that in a year's period, you're gonna make more than $2,400 in a year, which I guarantee you will if you work your leads properly. And by the way, Michael and I are developing a new training program for anybody that wants to do Boomtown, and I think it's going to be great but it's also going to come with a lot of accountability. All right, a lot of accountability, because we see all the leads that go through our Boomtown system and all the opportunities that the agents have, and we also see the squandering of opportunities. And so we want to help you guys not miss out on opportunities that we see right in front of you that you can take advantage of. So we got a new program that we're trying. We're working on it next week, so maybe in 2 weeks it'll be here. So when you think about that, there's only 2 ways of going out and getting business. Now, and you want to look at all the free ways, you know, all the free opportunities, the free marketing, Facebook, LinkedIn, Craigslist ads. All these are opportunities. Okay, are opportunities that you can potentially get a lead. And again, if we're looking on numbers, I just need to get if I need to get 30 leads in a year, I need to get 2.5 leads per month. I'm going to be doing some Facebook posting. I'm going to be doing my open houses. I'm going to be doing maybe some LinkedIn posting. I might even talk to a couple agents and see if I can promote their property on Craigslist. I'm going to double down on all my free stuff. And once you start making money, then you can start putting into play some of the marketing stuff. Now, what's nice about marketing is the leads are attracted to your marketing pieces, and they call you, okay? When you have a listing, and you have a sign up, and you have a sign writer up, people will call you. They'll call you directly, so you'll have more lead opportunities as you go and you put more marketing pieces in the marketplace. So I'm going to open that up for some discussions. Do you guys understand the difference between prospecting and marketing?
Yes.
Yep. Hey, Kano, can you talk a little bit about the cycle of things here with the, with the season, in season, out of season, and how you plan your marketing around when the snowbirds come and that kind of thing?
We can kind of talk a little bit about that, but you know what? We are in an annual market. You know, the people that think that we're not in an annual market are the people that aren't in the real estate industry, all right, or the restaurant industry. They're more impacted by the influx of the snowbird, all right. So, but as far as budgeting goes and financial budgeting, sure, you're gonna have a little bit more increase in your budget January, February. Actually, you should start in December. But remember, when you're doing marketing and spending marketing dollars, the yield may not be immediately. So I would start in December, January, February, March, April, and then I would stay heavy with my marketing all the way through July. But I believe the slowest month is in August. But you know what? While I look that up, let's see if there's some other questions. I'm going to pull something up from the MLS for you guys and just show you something. But houses sell all the time year-round, okay?
So how do you use Craigslist? I've heard you mention that a couple times, and I'm just interested to know how do you best take advantage of Craigslist?
Okay. The best way to take to post on Craigslist is first learn how to post something on the Craigslist. Once you learn how to post something on the Craigslist, you just need inventory, all right? And like for instance, I'm trying to get permission from some builders to let us promote their stuff. And if I can just get permission to market their stuff, not list their stuff, just market their stuff, I can run an ad online and say brand new construction in Venice, Florida. Here's a beautiful picture of the property. Home starting at $300,000. Call me today for our weekly new home tour. And then you put a phone number or contact me today with it. And now you're driving people to you that want to buy a $300,000 brand new construction. Now, you could run different kinds of ads like that, and so you could run. But you we got to get permission from the builder to be able to do that.
So, like the places that we visited yesterday, if we got permission from, like Ryan was one of the guys there, and then the other people that we met with to do that, we could do that.
We probably could not do it with one of these national builders like Taylor Morrison or D.R. Horton. But a local builder, okay, a local builder like John Cannon, Medallion Homes, and things like that, that's a different story, okay? That's a different story. So look, so you know when you start, so yeah, we just have to go and kind of get permission for them, okay? All right, so here's what I want you to look at when you're thinking about sales. Do you see the year right here? This is 2012, and here's 2015, and then this graph. This stands for January, February, March. You guys with me so far? Who's not with me? Let me ask that question. All right, so you're all with me. So when we look at January of last year, okay, right here. See if I can get this little tool up here. Where are my tools? I had tools. There we go. So when you look right here at January, this means 800 units in volume, okay? But when you ask me, here we are, we just finished up April, we're kind of in May. Oh, sorry, here's January, February, March, April, May. Look at May and June. Guess when season was over? April. April season was over. Look at May. Look at June. Look at August. Our slowest month doesn't slow down until November, guys, of the fall. And then you got December, then you got January and February. And then the spike starts back up. So when you just look at the trend, you can just kind of see what happens. Things slow down over December and January. And remember, the work you do in December creates the closings in January. The work you do in February creates the closings in March. Okay? So you want to kind of think that way. Here's an idea on the median price of what's going on in Sarasota County. Now this is only looking at single-family homes, but the condos kind of mirror this as well. But these graphs really kind of help you. And so this is where you can look at the inventory on the marketplace. So we get a boost up in inventory between January, February, and March. And why is that? Because the public thinks that because everybody's here, January, February, and March, that's the best time to sell. So more people put their houses on the market. And as you look at the pattern is consistent year after year. All right? So then you can come in here and let's look at here. So how is the healthy, how's the health of the marketplace? You got traditional sales constantly climbing. All right, remember 2012 to 2015. And look at how many short sales there are now in today's marketplace, and look at how the gap has closed in the foreclosure. And now this has changed. This is why I'm trying to tell you that new construction is pretty tight, because the short sales and the great deals are kind of going away. And if you come back up here and you look at the inventory's kind of gone away too. Up here we had 3,500 homes back in 2012. We're barely making 3,000 homes, so we're like 600 homes shorter than we were in 2012. So the trend is less inventory. Okay, and the average months days on market is pretty important. I'm trying to see if I found that. I crammed. So again, this is just some median prices, and it's graphing out the foreclosures and prices. So you can see the traditional price point is going up. The blue, which is foreclosures, is constantly up and down. Does this help you a little bit, Gary, understanding that we're in a year-round market just because everybody else kind of feels? Listen, we're busier during season because we have a lot of people here that aren't making decisions, and we still have to cater to them. Okay, so we are busier, don't get me wrong, but it doesn't always equate into sales. All right?
No, that's very helpful, and that's just what I wanted to hear you talk about was, if it makes any sense to tailor our marketing to the seasons or not.
You need to be present during the seasons, but you shouldn't let off your marketing until August of the year. All right, and start in January. So the last quarter of the year is where you try to coast and get to the end of the year, because that's when we have our slowdown, like November and December because of the holidays. Okay? So let's go look at our income pillars here for a little bit. All right, so when we're looking at trying to come up with where are my opportunities, now remember we're supposed to be adding 2 people to our COI every single week, right? So in 1 year we'll have 100 people. Okay? That's our goal. because that equates to automatically, if I had 40 people in my COI, that equates to 10 potential sales if I do it properly. So if I made 10 sales just for my COI, I only need to pick up 4 sales. I only need to pick up 4 sales for the rest of the year through my open houses, through my networking, through my ads out there for sale by owners, okay? So you figure if you talk to 20 for sale by owners throughout the year, you might get one of them to list as a traditional. If you talk to 20 for sale by owners, probably 1 out of 4 will go for our Smart Seller program or list with one of our competitor companies that charge a flat fee, okay? So that's why the FSBOs can be lucrative, is because we have a product for them. And you beat the flat fee companies by telling them that we have no upfront fee. And the only way you pay us is if we put more money in your pocket than you thought you would get. And there's no cost to you. Why don't you try it? All right? Short sales we're going to skip over. But let's look at this number with open houses. And this number is going to vary based on your personal skill set. All right? Based on your personal skill set. But we figure 1 out of 20. So if you got 20 groups of people through your open house, you should be able to pick up 1 customer out of 20. So how long do you stay in your open house? Until you get 20. See, it's not about the time that you put in. It's about how many people can I connect with or get to come to my open house so I can go through my numbers and pick up a buyer. Now I'm going to tell you how this is going to work. You're going to have 20 people come through and you're not going to connect with any of them. And then you're going to have another 20 come through, and maybe you connect with 1. And then your next 20 come through and you connect with 2. And so all of a sudden you got 3 people and you had 60 people through your open house, and that's your average. All right? So you still end up with your 3 out of 60, but it may not all come in the first 20. So the key is consistency. It's about rhythm. All right? If I got 20 people to this open house, and I talk with many of you, and I say, I've seen a lot of agents jump around to different open houses, and that's okay. You can definitely do that, and that'll give you some variety of different clientele and customers. It'll give you a variety. But I highly recommend, if you find the right price point, this is the key. You want to be in the right price point. Once you're in the right price point, then consistency comes in. Doing an open house consistently in one property is more effective than jumping around to a different open house every week or every day. Being consistent in the same open house does several things for me. I can build relationships with the surrounding people, the other neighbors. I can even then go and spend some marketing money and mail to them and invite them to come there. I can work the for sale by owners. I can work the FSBOs. I can preview every property in the territory around that property, so every homeowner that goes home and picks up my business card, they realize that we have a listing around the corner and that I saw their property. So if their property ever expires, who do you think they might think of, especially if I call them? Because they'll say, oh, I looked at your property, or I showed your property back 2 months ago before it expired. I just want to give you a quick call because I thought you had a really nice house. I think I might be able to sell it for you. And not only that, but now I have market knowledge. I'm sitting in my open house and someone walks in and I'm in a 2-bedroom, and they, first thing I'm out, oh, we don't want a 2-bedroom. I want a 3-bedroom with a pool. I'm like, oh my God, I just saw a house that looked just like that in this neighborhood. Around the block is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath with a pool, because I previewed it, and now I've seen it. I don't even have to research on MLS. I know all the homes on the list that I'm handing out. I can talk intelligently because now I have market knowledge. Can you see how that is an effective agent in an open house? I know all the inventory in the surrounding area. I'm attacking all the FSBOs that are in the area. I'm watching for any expires that come up in the area. I'm inviting neighbors to come to that open house. How could I even think about failure here? And that's the difference. When you do massive things compound on themselves, it's impossible for you to fail. Now, who should I invite to my open house? All my COI. At least once a week. Say, hey, and you know how you invite somebody? You just say, hey, I know this might not be for you, but maybe you know somebody who might be out there looking for something like this. I could really use your help. Pass it along to someone you might know. Thanks so much for caring about my business. Here's my property I'm having open. Now, would that be offensive if you had a friend email you and said that you're having an open house? No, and especially when I don't solicit them. All right, one other pillar I want to talk about, and that is leads on an internet, okay? Because a lot of you might jump in or be part of our Boomtown system. Well, whenever you're, and it can work different ways. Maybe you decide that you're going to invest in Realtor.com leads, or maybe you're going to invest in Trulia leads, or maybe you're going to invest, you're going to continue to invest in these different things. All right, but what you can think about internet leads are 80% of them are future business. 80% of them are 6 months to 18 months out. I have to have a very good follow-up system when I deal with internet stuff. I have to have a great follow-up system. And what I mean by great is it has to work when I'm not working. It has to remind me to go back and talk to somebody that I talked to 6 months ago so I don't drop them. And I have to have the ability to automate either a search for them or some trickle campaign that just keeps me connected with them so that I can work with my now business and I can just nurture my future business. Because once they're in my bucket and they're not ripe yet, I need to incubate them. I need to nurture them until they're ripe, until they're ready. And every one of them in my basket has a different ripening date, okay? But my goal and my systems allow me to seamlessly stay connected, nurture them until the time is right. So the bigger my bucket can be, the bigger my business will be as things mature and ripen out the back end. All right? But if I don't have if all I do is focus on the now business, 10% of the people that come through the internet, I got a shot at converting to a potential now business. And not only that, but that is the most competitive component. Because somebody's out looking right now because they want to buy a house. They're probably walking into open houses, probably searching Trulia. They're probably getting bombarded by like 9 or 10 other realtors. It's the future business that's less competitive because I'm able to develop relationships over time. And remember, we're all about relationships long term because one customer is worth $60,000 to you. One customer is worth $60,000. You may only make $5,000 now, but they're worth $60,000 over a 5 to 6 year period. So if you nurture that relationship and understand how important it is, every lead opportunity that you have, you're going to handle with kid gloves, you're going to handle with care, you're going to make sure that you put them in the right system, and you have good follow-up with them. All right? So you guys understand a little bit on the numbers with the internet leads that you're going to have, that, you know what, it's a lot of future business, and I've got to be able to schedule things to be able to nurture them. So being that in mind, so now let's take a look at what I should be doing with my time, okay? What should I be doing with my time? And we have a little chart right here, and I'm in agreement, okay, with the first top 4. All right, I'm in agreement with the first top 4. The best use of my time is to write a contract or present a contract, okay? The next best use of my time is to get a price reduction on one of my listings. Because if something that's priced correctly, I put the entire real estate community to work for me, and I get paid when they sell my own listing. So having my listings priced correctly that empower buyer, encourage buyers to make offers, that's the best use of my time. Listing presentations. All right, so if I'm on a listing presentation, I have an opportunity to get a listing. I have a shot at it. And right, I'm looking at my 1 in 3 shot. My 1 in 3 shot. So if I go on 3 listing appointments, I should get 1. If I go on 9 listing appointments, I should get 3. So I'm going to focus on making sure that I'm on listing appointments. Now, showing houses. All right, if I'm out showing houses, I know that someone potentially can write. Okay, if I took them through the whole process of, asking them to, to qualify, to getting financing and taking them. And again, a pop by is when you stop by and you see someone that you know, and you just leave them a little gift with a reminder card. So I don't do a lot of pop bys, but they are a good thing. Making phone calls. If I find myself lagging, making phone calls will get you out of any lag. All right, and you can just do check-in calls. All right, the next thing is writing personal notes. You should be writing 1 or 2 personal notes a day. If you're not writing personal notes to people, then you're not talking to people. And it's a choice, I understand. All right, so I would be writing a note a day because I talked to somebody and I'm trying to deepen that relationship and I'm trying to expand that COI. Business-to-business networking, what you guys just did at the chamber, if you do that every single month and you start going into a couple other networking things, you'd be surprised at how many people will start knowing who you are. All right? Learning and growing, and then prioritizing and planning. So when we come here and we look at a week, all right, you'll notice that my green fills up most of my map. And this light blue is also a green because it's a prospecting opportunity. Okay? So I want you to see how I spend my time. I always have a day of the week that I plan to do follow-up phone calls. And you'll notice my plan on Monday is in the afternoon. I'm going to do follow-up phone calls on Monday afternoon. And that's to all the people I may have done an open house that I may have met at my open houses last weekend or even the previous weekend. That's my follow-up. That's my tickler day, that I call the people that I've already got in my life that potentially can buy a house. And then I go to my office meeting, I jump in and I get some training on Tuesday. And then you know what? I'm going to either go on to a lunch or networking opportunity on Tuesday, and then I'm going to work on my business. I don't have a Facebook page. I'm going to work on building a Facebook page for myself. I don't know how to do a Craigslist ad. I'm going to go figure out how to do a Craigslist ad and try to post one of those. I don't have my header on my I don't have on my MLS. I don't have my header. I don't know how to print that out. I'm going to go research and learn how to do that to make sure I have that in place. I'm going to get some new photos of myself so I got things in place. So I'm going to spend time working on my business, not in it, not working with a buyer or seller trying to prospect, on it. I need this in place. I need this in place. I got top producer. I'm going in here and I'm going to look up my after networking event, and I'm going to create a step-by-step schedule on how I can follow up with somebody. And then you'll notice right here, showing property. Hey, I was able to convert somebody on Monday into going and looking at property. I got it scheduled for Wednesday morning. Now, of course, I forgot about the webinars here, so I probably schedule it more for like 11 o'clock and go through my lunchtime. But then I got another section to follow up some leads in the afternoon. If I don't have anybody, I might go pop into an open house and stay there from 10 to 5. Why? I know that I just need to meet 20, and I should get 1 from that. And my goal is to get, 2.5 a month. And then again, another training session, some more follow-up, because I'm hitting my Boomtown leads and following up each day with the people that might be in that system. And then again, showing property. Now you notice that I don't have Saturday and Sunday here. So if I were to take Saturday and Sunday and work those, and by the way, when you work from, noon to 4, that's 4 hours. That doesn't count as a full day. Doesn't count as a full day. That's a half day. So if I was going to work Saturday and Sunday, maybe I'd take Mondays off. I come to my trainings, and then I go to the beach. Okay, you got to have some downtime. You got to have some downtime. All right, but you get to build your schedule how you want. But work on time blocking. Do you see how I have all my hours committed? So now what I would do before I approach the next day, I would schedule everything and time block it all. So I want to open this up for some questions before we conclude.